So, good morning, ma'am. I am Daniela Zerga from BSIT 2A. So, I'm going to continue about the topic discussed by David. So, it was all about the global citizenship. So, as what have discussed by David, global citizenship, it was our rights and civic responsibilities, meaning our responsibilities or rights as a citizen in each country or globally. So in a community, so it is important to know our obligations as, for example, in the Philippines, as Filipinos, we must know to communicate to others or participate in any civic responsibilities that we hold to. So therefore, a person's global identity transcends his or her geographical and political ones. Although this does not mean that the individual must denounce his or her nationality, so not it does not mean that a person um tell everyone that he or she is a Filipino or that is his or her nationality, but these are secondary to his or her global identity. So, global citizenship is also a global identity of each and everyone. So we have three categories of global citizenship. First is open global citizenship, believes that nations still exist and differ from one another. However, it recognizes the interdependence between different nations and opportunities for cultural diversification. So about the open global citizenship, it is all about that each country has different culture and different language. So we have unique differences each country or each nation, and we have different opportunities for cultural diversification. So that's why ang iba nga people, they are curious about the culture of other countries, and that's what we call cultural diversification. Nagkaipon ang mga cultures because ang iban nag-migrate sila and they adapt culture of others, and since migrant sila, and then they are or they have dual citizenship, so that's why mahitabo ang cultural diversification. So about the moral global citizenship, so this focuses the ethical aspect of global citizenship. So it is all about the moral, meaning the acts, the behavior of each person, or put emphasis on human rights, equality, and global responsibility. So the human rights, equality, and global responsibility of each person, each citizen of the country. And then so social political global citizenship emphasizes the social and governmental system. So this social political global citizenship, it is how a citizen acts or participate in any social or political aspects in the country he or she lived in. It advocates also to shift the existing political power in order to advance global equality. So global citizenship education. So why it is important to have a global citizenship education? Im- this imparts knowledge about the rights of every individual in the international community. One of these basic rights is that every human being has the right to live in dignity, assessed in restoring positive identity, dignity, and self-esteem of individuals. So if we have global citizenship education, or GCED, GCE Ed, it helps us to know our rights as individual in the country or as a citizen in in a nation. So about Kang Paulo Freire, he was known for his um knowledge and the way to educate people about oppressive systems. So he urges people to be educated in citizenship rights in order to question the hidden oppressive systems that surround them. So para kang Paulo Freire, it is important that we must educate ourselves as a citizen of each country. Issues in global citizenship. So we have the three issues in global citizenship. First is the conflict between global citizenship and national citizenship. So para sa iban, and yes, it is different from each other ang global citizenship and national. So when we say global, it is worldwide, and national only the nation itself. So even though people are encouraged to become global citizens, in reality, they live in their own culture with their own context. So for example, for us, we do not know any other culture aside from us being Filipino. So para sa aton ang tawag is national citizenship. So if ang iban they adopt many cultures, or they have dual citizenship, I guess, or um they have visit many states, so they can be called global citizenship. So this is very obvious in countries with a significant amount of immigration. So if that country has many immigrants, so they they face these issues about the conflict between global citizenship and national citizenship. And then the second is the conflict between global citizenship and individual differences. So for example, the nga gisite is if a person, or in Italy, immigrants who perform very personal services or care work for Italian families and know deep-seated secrets are still not treated as part of the family because they are called foreigners. In fact, they are called intimate foreigners. So even though they have adopted culture or foods they eat, and or all acts or culture relating to that country. So ang tawag gyapon sa ila is intimate foreigners. So abject citizens who are being rejected from citizenship. So they have rejected. So for example, if someone have a criminal case and then mo migrate siya into another country, so that's why usay na nga rason nga ma-abject, or he or she can be called an abject citizen because ang yes citizenship is ma-reject, or any other cases nga dili ma-meet ang rules or ang law about that to pass the citizenship, so amo siya ma-abject kayo. The third is development of the imagination for global citizenship. Slow progress in developing a global imagination. Citizenship is not permanent, can be transformed and contestable. So development of the imagination for global citizenship. So that yes, it's not easy to learn about global citizenship, and we cannot automatically gain that role as a global citizen, as a global citizenship. That's why may gitawag lat kitang good citizen and bad citizen. So each country has this good citizen who follows social norms, and bad citizen who disobeys social norms. So it is easy to understand that as simple as that, following rules, rights, laws of each country, he or she can be called as good citizen, and opposite to that is the bad citizen. And then is the concept of active citizenship used to pacify people? Is it used to make people comply to what is expected from them? So, from what I've learned, it is not our responsibility, not just our responsibility, but our obligation is that we as citizen of each country, we must we have each role to participate and part of the progress of our country or development of our country. Remember, every good citizen adds to the strength of a nation. By me. So in addition to that, I have an example of who was considered as the global citizen. So from what I've searched, it was Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahatma Gandhi, he was considered the global citizen because of his values, his acts, his reverence for high-mindedness, wisdom, and selflessness. So that's why gitawag siya nga Mahatma. Kay ang Mahatma meaning is person who is reverent. Yes. And then Martin Luther King is also considered as a global citizen since the values he stood up because of his values for social equality, racial equality, compassion, love, and justice, what forms the very essence of global citizenship. So if we have these values and we will practice this, so it's not possible to to have a role as a global citizen. That's all. Thank you.